Okay. Stream elements just messaged. That's good. Looks like it's live. It says stream begin soon, yeah?
Yeah, and I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Alright. Cool. Well, I think maybe just keep the headphone, like, keep it wired into the headphones, but you don't actually have to wear them, because otherwise you're going to be hearing me in duplicate all night. That'll get... I mean, that would stress me out, personally.
I'm okay.
Okay, if you insist. What's up?
I'm still listening to the echo and the lag. I think I would recommend something different for the title of instead Who Needs a Hug Warhammer 40k edition. I mean, like which 40k character or faction needs a hug?
I mean, it is kind of the same. I'm honestly not too worried about it. Because if this ends up in a VOD, then I can change the name later.
Okay, it just sounds kind of ASMR-y.
Well, to be fair, it's 8:30 at night, and both of us are very calm people.
Well, it's 1:30, you know.
Well, in the States, sure, but
Yeah.
I'm not too... the States will figure themselves out.
Okie dokie.
Which reminds me, I forgot to tell Discord that we're doing this, so I'm gonna go take care of that real quick. Here we are, going live. Okay. Well, that'll get passed around or it won't. I mean, it's the Saturday before Easter. I'm sure that there's probably a lot of people just sort of doing their own thing, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. Well, I have the first time chat. Hello. Hello, Mr. Vimes, man. As you sit next to me. How's it going? Thank you for testing chat. All right. So, okay. Oh, wow. I have a... This stream is horrible tonight. Let me see if I can fix that a little bit. I think if I just sort of close out some of my YouTubes, that should hopefully help. I don't really need Purple Brew instructions. Our ping is incredible. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, if this ends up surviving, we'll have a video for the VOD channel, and if it doesn't end up streaming, well, then you and I will just have fun tonight, and it won't matter.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, because that ping is...
Does that also explain the lag?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, it's going to lag, but the lag can be better or worse depending.
You might need to close down the Minecraft.
I did. I mean, I can close down @launcher as well. But no, Minecraft is closed. And I know the name of this thing, and I've got the link for that. I'll just close down this whole extra tab, and maybe that'll help. It did help. That... Oh, okay. I don't know why that was eating so much internet, but...
Which one was it?
Oh, no, and it's no longer red. I closed out that separate instance of Firefox, and now the internet's like, oh, we have life. Huh. Although, it does keep kind of dumping back and forth between, like, nothing and having something. I mean, the good news is that, you know, what we're doing tonight does not require like 60 FPS and high quality streaming. Like, we're literally just gonna do like a tier list and maybe some fun little quizzes. So I don't think it matters. All right, well, shall we go ahead and boot up the tier list and talk about the rules a little bit?
Sure.
Cool. All right. There he is. He's loaded in. Nice. All right, so tonight, Thursday and I are going to be ranking which 40k character. Oh, there we go. Which 40k character needs a hug the most? Because they all need one. It's just a question of how badly and if. So.
Yep.
Yeah. This should be interesting. So I have this tier list on the board. We used this one previously for which 40k factions are, and I'm just gonna warn you, they can hear that. So yeah, you can vape. Just, you know, don't vape directly into the microphone.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so we used this tier thing last time, and it's got all of the different factions, but for our particular purposes, we're going to use these as stand-ins, at least for the 40k, or not for the 40k, for
The Primarchs?
Yeah.
The major characters?
Yeah, the Space Marines. We're going to use the Space Marine boxes as stand-ins for the Primarchs, because I don't remember what the Primarchs look like just by their picture. That's... I tend to listen to all my lore videos in the background, so I don't ever actually get to see most of the cool art that people are putting in their videos.
Whereas the Xenos will just be the species in general, because, let's face it, how many named Tyranids do you know off the top of your head?
There's technically 3, and the worst part is that they're not characters.
Oh, I'm just... Old One-Eye.
Old One-Eye. Swarm Lord. Death Leaper.
Wait, I thought that was a unit, not a
There's 3 tiers. So, and I'm gonna butcher their names, but there's the Little Leapers.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Von Ryan's Leapers, I think, I think those are the bigger ones.
Oh, the Lictor?
Yeah, Lictor. I think it's Lictor and then Von Ryan's, but I might have that backwards. And then Death Leaper is like a big, bad, notable, terrifying version of those two.
Okay.
But they all basically perform the same thing. Like, they're all infantry units. Or, not infantry. Infiltration.
Yeah. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how do you hug Death Leaper?
Assertively.
and finally. Oh goodness, all right. And then we're also gonna have to be Googling some of these characters because I know them well enough to talk about them. I may not necessarily know which Space Marine faction is associated with which Primarch. We are casual fans, right? Like, this is not our job. We don't go to play tabletop every weekend, obviously, because we're here. Like, we're here for lore and a good time. So if we get things wrong, it is what it is. So do we just want to go in order that is presented for these images? Would that be easier?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that being the case, do the Chaos Demons need a hug?
I actually know very little about Chaos. I mean, they all have something that they want. Is that why Satan fell from heaven?
Oh no, we're getting philosophical.
Was he just reaching out for someone
to give
Wow.
him a hug?
Wow. He's got introspective.
Thursday.
Probably not.
No.
I think they're happy on their own.
I think they're good. Are they okay actually, or are they gonna kill you before you can try? Or are they a no hugs ever?
I'm gonna put him in no hugs ever.
Yeah, I think that's probably wise, especially once you get into some... No, every single one of them, like, even if they needed a hug, they don't deserve it. Okay, so we don't have anybody in particular that I can point to for Adeptus Custodes. But...
You know, they're the most well-treated. I've called them the literal golden boys before, and I stand by that. You know what? If anyone is probably... That is the closest Imperium gets to emotionally stable. So I'm gonna put him in is okay, actually.
See, I debate this. I debate this from a lore standpoint, because even though they have the reputation as the golden boys in the community, as like the ultra elite force, they were built from the ground up, literally engineered by a dude who is now dead and rotting on a throne, who never considered them his children despite the fact that he made them, who have not gotten to talk to him in 10,000 years, and just have to sit there and patiently wait for the day that he remembers how to, frankly, tell the rest of the Imperium how to make a text-to-speech.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Alright. So, they actually do... Should they have been hugged more as a child?
I don't know. I mean, they probably should have been hugged more as a child, but I don't think they... See, this is the other flip side, is that they're very proud, so I don't think they would have let anybody ever... Like, I don't think they would ever let anybody, but I think they need one, but they won't let anybody.
Should have been hugged more as a child.
Okay, you think so? Because we've also got needs one, but won't let you.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
Not been hugged more as a child.
Okay, cool. Oh goodness, the Salamanders. So there's the faction, and then there is their Primarch. And oh my goodness, I am blanking on his name, but he's the best. He's the best one. Are you pulling up the names?
Vulcan?
Vulcan, yeah. Okay, Vulcan. I think Vulcan, by 40K standards, is who everybody would want as a dad. He doesn't necessarily need the hugs so much as he needs to give you the hug.
Okay.
Yeah, I think of all of the Primarchs, like, I would call him the most emotionally stable.
Okay, so...
Yeah, he's very chill. He works the forge, and he's left little puzzles behind for his salamanders to go out and hunt, so that way, you know, when they find all the puzzle pieces, he'll eventually come back. He's not dead, which is giving everybody hope, and he might actually be immortal?
Okay, so... I mean, it's the puzzle pieces that he left behind. Like, even if they don't work, they're still kind of, you know, that note you leave someone.
Yeah.
He left a note. That means a lot. So I'm gonna put them in is okay, actually.
Yeah, I think of everybody, I think that Vulcan is okay, actually. Now, if we were ranking this based on whether or not the salamanders need a hug, I would say that the salamanders need a hug. just because they miss him so badly.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also like the only Space Marine faction that are encouraged to have families and spend time with them.
Yeah.
So frankly, statistically, the Salamanders get the most hugs.
Yeah, no, that's true. So
Yeah, we'll put them in. We'll put them in. Is okay actually.
yeah.
Okay, now your faction.
Orcs.
Yeah.
You know what? You might not believe me on this one, but I'm gonna put them at is okay actually. I mean seriously, who in Warhammer 40k has a better time?
Yeah.
They make fantastical machines through the power of imagination. They are deadly, deadly toddlers. They're fine.
They're fine. Yeah. I have to agree with that. Like, of everybody, the orcs are thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next we have Corvus Corax, I believe, is the Primarch of the Raven Guard.
Yes, he is.
And for a man whose name is Crow Crowerson, he is predictably a bit of an emo boy. But does that necessarily mean that he needs a hug?
Oh. What else do we know about him?
You know, that's kind of the problem. There's not as much to say as maybe there should be. we've got Reddit pulled up. We're trying to find anything interesting to say about this man besides
Rational, driven. Ooh, desperate to redeem himself.
Oh, what did he do? This is the question, because, like, again, I know most of my Primarchs, but I don't remember him.
Yeah.
We can have the common raven. Okay, everybody hates the wikis. I'm aware, but at the same time, you know, forgive me for a moment. Oh my goodness, I think he's the one. Is he the one who tried to be Batman?
That would go along with everything I'm seeing. Depressed, melancholy, trying to redeem himself after a massacre.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Yeah, this is Warhammer 40k's attempt at Batman. Well, I mean, Batman does need a hug.
No, he has needed a hug for a while.
Yeah, I think yeah. I think at every point in his life he probably needed a hug and he never got one. So we're just gonna put him up there, and if I've mischaracterized him, we'll survive. We will survive. Okay. Next we have the Harlequins.
Yeah, the people who
These
the
are
Deadly Jesters.
Yeah.
The faction. We go from the faction based on Batman to the faction based on the Joker. The Christopher Nolan Joker.
didn't put that together, but you are correct.
No hugs for this one ever.
No hugs for this one ever. Yeah,
they know what they did.
Yeah, well, actually, they did not. The one you're thinking of are the Dark Eldar, and they don't get hugs. They lost that privilege.
There's enough room for both of them in that space.
Well, I mean, I will agree with you. I don't think that they need hugs. I will just say that, but I don't think that they should be banned from hugs. Although I mean, like they're send in the clowns, but librarians. These are the ones who guard the Black Library.
And appease their god in the way they find most humorous.
Yes.
Which is war and slaughter.
Oh, welfare.
Yeah.
I see, I'm not going to convince you.
Nope.
So, do they deserve no hugs ever, or can we put them in, we'll kill you before you can try?
I say no hugs ever for them.
Okay. I think they would kill you before you could try, but then again,
Yeah,
I
but
can.
you shouldn't try.
You should not try. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. White scars. Okay, their Primarch is
Yeah.
Jagged
Yeah.
Icon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I love Jagged Icon. I think he's so cool. Um, he is explicitly based on Genghis Khan, but he's like, I would say he's more emotionally healthy than the version of Genghis Khan I think we all have in our heads.
Okay.
He is a gearhead. He likes to drive his motorbikes. He likes his faction. Like he likes his kids. Is very standoffish. Doesn't really want to be invited to parties.
Yeah. No, he's a. Okay. So he's the introverted warlord.
Yeah. Yeah, and he never put a lot of stock in his relationship with the Emperor either, as far as I know. Like they had a decent relationship, like it was fine, but it like he there was not an abundance of love, nor was there an abundance of like get off my lawn.
And apparently he interrupted a a battle in between the Space Wolves and Alpha Legion, and instead of choosing to get involved on either side, he goes home to ask for advice, closing the message with "Until next winter," because he thought that was a polite way to say goodbye. Oh dear lord, he is. Yeah, he's given to cultural misunderstandings. Okay, he won't let you.
He won't let you.
No, he won't let you.
He won't let you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fully agree with this. Okay. All right, so next we have Chaos Knights, and I have never considered if this faction needed a hug. I mean, like, you have the knights, the robots, which, I mean, they do have souls, but the souls are a gestalt of all their former pilots. And in this particular case, they're all warp spawn.
I feel like there's a Simpsons episode about this somewhere.
Oh my goodness, if there is, you need to find it for me.
Well, no, it was more a parody on iRobot, I believe, or The Twilight Zone, but
I maintain. You're gonna have to find this for me.
yeah. No, I'm just imagining, innocently running up to, a skyscraper-sized demonic robot and offering it a hug. Yeah, it'll kill you before you try.
I think so. I don't think you're gonna get anywhere close. Okay, my beloved Tyranids go in the no. You should not try to hug them. They will digest you first. They don't have a concept of a framework for the idea of affection, much less a hug. They would see it as you offering yourself to them as food. There's
Well, maybe that's because no one has ever tried. If no one ever tries, how will you know?
I feel like their cult has tried multiple times.
They're a borderline hive mind. Or how does it go again?
They just are. They're not a borderline. They just are a hive mind, and they only hunger.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah. I'm just as the resident Tyranid player. Don't bother. It's not going to happen. And as somebody who
So if you
thinks
hug
they're
one,
cute,
you hug them all.
you
could
do.
change the course of the galaxy.
They will eat you.
And since, is that just the individual, Is it just the Leviathan swarm, what are the other two? The Behemoth swarm? And...
Actually, the lore conflicts about that. Like, they are a hive mind, but it's unclear whether or not the different hives talk to each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because technically, it might be dangerous. But since they're surrounding the whole of, known existence with their forces, you could be hugging the entire galaxy at once. Think about that. Isn't that worth a try?
So I just have to tell you, a couple of years ago, the editor and I put together a video about, which I think it was similar to, like, which character needs a hug the most, but we did it for Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up having to make an entire category for this will be the last hug you ever have, and I feel like we're about to repeat that. Alright, so let's move on. So next we have the Death Guard, and Death Guard, I think there are a few characters in there who desperately need a hug, but we did decide that we were going to go based off the Primarchs. And I think if anybody ever needed a hug, ever, it was Mortarion.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I think everything that the Death Guard is could have been prevented if somebody had given this man a hug. Ever.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just recap the lore for you. He lands on a nuclear toxic planet, is immediately adopted by the evil space alien race that has dominated the entire planet and is using humans as free labor and food, is raised to believe that he is one of them until he grows a brain cell and realizes I am adopted. At which point he then meets other humans who were like, why are you doing this to us? And he immediately swaps sides. Raises up all the humans, leads a massive rebellion, goes all the way up to the king, who was his adopted father and is now his greatest enemy. And he's up on this giant mountain that is in the most toxic, most irradiated, nastiest part of the planet. He's gone up there alone because he doesn't want to risk his troops. He's just about ready to stab this guy, and then the Emperor swoops in and kill steals.
Okay.
The man needs a hug. And maybe a real father.
Yeah.
Everything could have been prevented if he'd just been hugged more as a child.
Yeah.
Don't bother trying to hug him now. It's not going to work out. You will die horribly. It will start with boils, and it will get worse from there. But
okay.
But if we had a time machine, yeah. All right. Next we have Leman Russ of the Space Wolves. Do you remember Leman Russ?
I remember the tank.
Not quite.
He's one of the more respected ones.
Yeah. Like, I guess if I had to sum him up, imagine if you took the Marvel edition of Thor and the Norse mythology version of Thor, and you mashed them into a singular person.
Okay. So, the Norse mythology, is he quick to anger, gets himself in stupid situations?
Yes.
I see. Often borderline ridiculous?
Yes.
And trying to attack his enemies dressed up as a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a hug. He needs a hug.
Yeah. I think he needs AA. But a hug will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't... See, the struggle is, like, I don't know if he... I think he would let somebody hug him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he likes his faction
Mm-hmm.
decently enough.
Yeah.
I think it would be possible. But I also think that it would be kind of a coin flip on whether or not he will let you hug him or if he will just murder you.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think we can put him in needs a hug.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Okay. Chaos Undivided. So, since we don't have, do we have, we're missing a lot just because of the way that this tier list is formatted. Yeah, we are going to be missing a lot of characters and factions. That is okay. We'll go through and deal with it later. So for Chaos Undivided, I'm going to say that this is Horus or Abaddon.
Yeah, let's go with Horus.
Okay, so okay. There's like 20 bajillion books in the Horus Heresy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were written across the span of like, I don't know, 30 years, 20 or 30 years. Like, they've been doing this forever. And they've wrapped up and then started to reopen the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not going to get all of this 100% correct because there's been too many hands in this pot. But I would say that, like, so Horus was one of the first ones found by the Emperor,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a good relationship, but there was some storyteller debate on whether or not he decided that he was upset with the Emperor about the way that things were going and that the war was endless and that they were never going to win. Mm-hmm. And that they may or may not just be tools to conquer the entire galaxy, and then the Emperor was just going to take them all out back. Mm-hmm. Or if he was stabbed with a poop knife and that corrupted him.
Yeah. The books I've read, he's already beginning to doubt because the Emperor did not explain, why the Emperor left the war band. And did not actually explain chaos to him. Which, Emperor's a terrible parent.
He's a horrible parent. Like, he's an awful dad.
And
then the other option is Abaddon, who isn't a Primarch, but is the leader of the Black Legion for now. And, Abaddon does not need a hug, and he would kill you before you tried. Like, just straight up. Like, Abaddon...
Yeah.
Not the guy for hugs.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So, I voted we go with Horus, and Horus, he needed a father. He needed someone, he wanted to go in his father's... follow in his father's footsteps, earn his respect, and then when his father didn't tell him what was going on, it allowed that that doubt which the Thousand Sons took advantage of, and yeah.
So, I mean, I know he's dead, but do we want to put him in needed a hug for a while, needs a hug, or should have been hugged more as a child?
Needed a hug for a while.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Okay, so now we have just regular Chaos Knights. And they don't have a Primarch. Oh my goodness, okay. Yeah, I did. Sorry, that is a reference to Pancreas No Work. If I can find his channel, but that is how he describes it. I haven't gotten to even begin to attempt to read all of Horus Heresy, but like there's this cursed knife that somebody finds and Horus gets stabbed with it, and then he goes on this vision journey thing with with all the demons trying to tempt him, and then when he comes back he's corrupted. And it's like this whole situation, and Pancreas sums it all up as was stabbed with a poop knife. Oh goodness, yeah, it was it is a funny video in a very good channel. So yeah, and oh goodness. Anyway. All right, so yeah, back on topic. Chaos no, Imperial Knights, because we already did Chaos. So Imperial Knights, they don't have a faction leader per se. All of them are usually sourced from like rural agricultural medieval worlds.
Mm-hmm.
They put the knight in the Imperial Knight, as it were.
Yeah.
So
they're a bunch of aristocrats with everything that entails.
well, you would think so, but not necessarily. These are more like like not the Arthurial Knights in the sense of like noble, and well, they do the noble and honor and chivalry, but this is the like gritty version, not the kiddie version.
Have you ever read any of the original stories of King Arthur?
Yeah, I have, and they're very they kind of leave out all the gruesome details of war. These guys do not bother leaving out the gruesome details of war.
You could argue that Le Morte d'Arthur was the original Grimdark.
I have never thought about it like that. I'm gonna have to process that, actually. Because you might have a point there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mordred's whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, if you factor in Lancelot and his whole thing with Guinevere.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arthur being a terrible husband.
Yeah, and everything is torn apart by, well, all of the rich noble knights being idiots.
Yeah.
Being selfish idiots.
Yeah. Okay.
Then being on a quest from God and being irredeemably stupid, greedy, and self-centered.
Yeah. Okay, no.
In one of the retellings, the literal Pope arrives on the shores of England to tell them to stop fighting and for everyone to go back to their spouse. And Guinevere just says no.
I haven't read that one. That's amazing. Okay, no, you make several good points. All right, I'm. All right. Well, in that case, where do you think they belong on the hug spectrum?
Well, it's either going to be should have been hugged more as a child or needs one but won't let you.
I think there needs one but won't let you. Because I don't think they'd ever let you get close enough. Like I think that they would see you moving towards their mech and just start blasting.
Okay.
Okay, so the Primarch for the Dark Angels is Lionel Johnson.
Uh-huh.
Do you know anything about Lionel Johnson?
No.
Okay, here's the cliff notes. Landed on a big forest planet, was adopted by a very good father, and rose up to unite a whole bunch of different clans in order to defeat back the big evil beasts that were like conquering and eating people and things. Everything was going really well, and then the Emperor shows up and is like, hey, by the way, you're my kid, and I have this army that I need you to lead. And Lionel went, okay. Immediately, all of his followers went, awesome, sweet, we're gonna go be like Space Marines with you, only to then discover that the vast majority of them couldn't, either were too old or too feeble or whatever, and they said, that's not gonna stop us, we're still with you anyway. And so he ended up having this massive, like, entourage for his actual core Space Marines,
Mm-hmm.
and they all loved him. And he was very happy with the situation. He felt like things were going well. And then chaos happens, Horus Heresy happens, and they are just left in the dark. Like he has to go off and take care of things and just sort of leaves home. And in the 5 minutes that he is not looking, some a-hole is like, he's abandoned us, we need to turn to chaos, and half of his faction like defects on him.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he comes home and is like, I turned my back for 5 minutes, you cowards. So half his faction is still with him, and the other half of his faction he has been on a pogrom against to try and either hide the secret that half of them are secretly like chaos worshippers.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's desperate that the Imperium never find out that half of his faction defected on him. Yeah.
He needs a hug.
He needs a hug. I think that's a fair place.
Yeah.
In fact, I would go so far as to say that he probably needed a hug for a while. He did eventually, like when Gilliman came back, he and Gilliman met up and started talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that point he finally got a hug. Like in my head canon, I think that's what happened. But I maintain he still needs a hug.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Thousand Sons.
Magnus the Red.
Oh my goodness, Magnus. I'm sure you've heard the community joke, Magnus did nothing wrong.
No, tell me more.
Magnus did nothing
Uh-huh.
wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
He was supposed to do nothing, and he somehow effed it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn, because on the one hand, he was so eager to please the Emperor, and so desperate for approval for his magic-y shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he had gotten that approval, maybe he would have been a little bit more emotionally stable and open to hearing do nothing.
Ooh.
But his comically awful actions make me not want to hug him.
No, I get that, but at the same time, again, he's another victim of a bad dad. He needed someone there to tell him, it's okay, you don't need to fight for my approval every second. You can just guard, or I'm assuming just guard whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, then he should have been hugged more as a child.
I think you're right. As much as his later actions make me think that he does not deserve a hug ever,
Mm-hmm.
I think if he had received the care that he needed, he probably would have been a better person. Should we just go ahead and throw the Drukhari into no hugs ever and move on?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes, we should.
All right. Adeptus Sororitas.
This is gonna be definitely needing a hug. Will you survive said hug?
Yeah. I think there's a strong argument for either needs one but won't let you, or will kill you before you try.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, so their whole thing is that they were, like, the Emperor's staunchest nuns, and then, like, the worst pope came into power. Just the worst pope. And he pulled some shenanigans to get them on his side, and so for a little while they were, like, his guard dogs or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then they went and got a meeting with the actual Emperor, and nobody knows what he said to them, but apparently he spoke to them. and they immediately turned around and killed that pope. And then because they killed that dude and decided that I guess the council decided that they were loyal enough, so they get to stay.
Okay. Gotcha. Anyways, shout out to Benedict the Ninth.
Oh, what does he say? Oh, Pope Benedict the Ninth. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. So, yeah, no, they desperately need a hug. Have you seen the penitence engines?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah,
I
no.
mean, Crowerson is looking at that, saying maybe they need to lighten up a little.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
need a hug, but I'll kill you before you try.
I think you're right. Let's see here.
Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah, You know, I feel like if they had ever had a loving family whatsoever, we would have less instances of gene stealers.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a little bit of a debate about how much the individual victims of the gene stealer cults have in their transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do just kidnap people.
That's true.
But on the other hand, there are a lot of people who join them willingly.
Yeah. And, well, if you're kidnapped, you would also need a hug.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I think they need a hug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they're that on the outs with people, but they're willing to, you know, the xenomorphs, the legally distinct xenomorphs seem like a good idea. Then, yeah, maybe they need a hug.
Okay, so which of these three do you think
needs a hug?
Just straight up needs a hug.
Straight up needs a hug.
Okay. Iron Hands. Okay. I think the Iron Hands is Perturabo. Oh, it's that's right. Ferrus Manus, Iron Hands, Iron Hands. His name is literally Iron Hands.
Okay, I would just like to take this time to offer a sincere and heartfelt apology to George Lucas and his skills at naming alien species. I had always thought the Calamarians were the silliest name ever. I was wrong. I apologize. Let us all move on.
He's really up there with Crowerson.
Yeah.
Oh. So, okay, this is terrible. I get Ferrus Manus mixed up with Rogel Dorn and Perturabo.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, they are all big men who like machines, and it is sometimes really hard to differentiate. Like, Perturabo is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogel Dorn, I think, is probably stable.
Gotcha.
But I don't know where Ferrus Manus falls in the needs a hug spectrum.
Well, let's see. He loves the salamander guy, who's very good at forging weapons. The iron will, that's usually when you have that much stoicism, you're hiding something deep down. You are. Okay. I mean, let's face it.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, you're repressing something that needs to come out. So you know what? Ferrus Manus, come here. Give me a great big hug. Let it all out, big guy. No. Move him up. That's right. That's right.
Just the biggest hug.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have the whole Tau Empire.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they do have, like, a proper faction captain we could kind of point to.
Mm-hmm.
With, oh my goodness, he's the head of the Firecast.
Yeah. Sun. I keep calling him Sunblade.
Yeah, but that's not his name. Um... Mm,
Yeah. You've got the sword! The big sword!
yeah, uh,
Commander Shadow Sun?
there's Commander Shadow Sun, and
Mm.
there's Commander... There's something else, I think. Yeah, the Farside Enclave. Yeah. Captain Farsight, and then okay, it's Captain Farsight that I'm thinking of, and probably Captain Shadow Sun is like one of his. Oh, regardless. So they've got a couple of captains. I don't actually know enough about either of the captains to be able to say that they need a hug.
Mm-hmm.
So the Tau Empire were originally, like, good. Like, just, like, maybe not good by, like, Earth standards, but, like, compared to the rest of 40K, they were downright functional.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I guess in recent years, because of pushback, they've been trying to add in that, like, maybe actually the elders of the faction are using pheromone-based mind control in order to keep the greater good going or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, even by the standards of Warhammer 40K, is still...
the nicest version they have?
Yeah. So I don't know that they necessarily need a hug. Like, I think that of everybody,
Yeah?
I think they're alright.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see in a couple more invasions, but right now they seem okay. Okay, so next up we have the Grey Knights, but we can technically use the Emperor of Mankind as their quote-unquote Primarch, based on some of the lore. No, okay, so Thursday pulled up Caldor Drago as, like, the leader, and that is correct. Caldor Drago is the leader of the Grey Knights, but he's not their Primarch.
Okay.
Yeah, he's to the Grey Knights what, like, Abaddon is to the 13th Legion.
Yeah.
Or the Black Crusade, or whatever they're called.
The Chaos?
Yeah. So he's not their, like, genetic contributor Primarch guy.
Mhm.
He just leads them.
Okay.
So, and honestly, I don't know a whole lot about Caldor Drago.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like he's holding everything together, but he kind of seems like in the same department as Ferrus Manus, where he's just sort of holding it together.
Gotcha.
Because he kind of has to.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, they've been going back and forth on whether or not they're going to retcon this, but the Grey Knights originally were supposed to be, like, gene stock directly from the Emperor, so we could use the Emperor of Mankind as the stand-in for the Grey Knight Primarch.
We could. Which immediately... So, would you put him in no hugs ever for this one?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
He does not deserve a hug.
Gotcha.
He is too bad of a father.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. No, on the other hand, like, I don't think that the Grey Knights don't deserve hugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for the Emperor being such a terrible person, the Grey Knights are actually... Like, I think that I would put the Grey Knights in is okay, actually. But I think I would put the Emperor in no hugs ever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So how do we want to place it?
We've been sticking with the Primarch rule, so
Okay.
I vote we can stick with that. And no hugs ever.
No hugs ever. Okay. And again, this is not personal to the Grey Knights, but this is personal to their potentially lore dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we just sort of have the bucket of Space Marines. And I think that we're actually going to hold off on that one because there's a whole bunch of Space Marines that don't get their own dedicated faction. And I think we'll pull up the names of each of those Primarchs and we'll discuss them individually, but for right now, let's just go ahead and skip ahead to the Ultramarines, I think.
With
Rabbit Girlyman? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Rabute Gilliman, but
Okay.
So
okay, this is neither the Crowy McCrowerson or the Lionel Johnson. In between the unbelievably mundane and the... They threaded the needle, or, they threaded the Amazon River through unbelievably mundane and unbelievably silly. And somehow...
they got a bureaucrat.
They managed to bank off both sides.
They really did.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Like, I think it depends on what your interpretation of Gilliman is, because he portrays himself so well as has his stuff together, statesman. That's his whole thing, is statescraft. So, like, of everybody, he gets portrayed as being the most functional. Like, when he went back at the helm, everybody breathed a sigh of relief.
Gotcha.
On the other hand, you have to imagine that a galaxy-wide empire that can't even decide if they all agree on the same thing within their own religion, half the time the communications are cut off. There's no way to track where anybody is, how any of your troop movements are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're expected to run that after 10,000 years of being the Empire.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, he needs a hug.
I think he needs a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a really good childhood. Like, he didn't need a hug as a child. He got those. He was doing okay. But I think everything for the last, like...
And he's not a creative man.
No.
I mean, everybody else, they named their factions Death Angels, Raven Guard, whereas his was Ultramarines. Why don't you just name it the very bestest people? I mean, really, just go with that.
We are the goodest boys. Yeah. Yeah, I think the most creative... Oh, go ahead.
And just letting you know, Snake Boy, we are just finishing up the Ultramarines.
So, since you're just getting in, I will let you know. So we are trying to do this tier list for all of the Space Marine factions that actually have a Primarch. We're basing it off of their Primarch, not the faction as a whole. And then for, like, Xenos, since they don't really have a dedicated leader, we're just going to rank the faction. So if you are like, hey, why don't the Grey Knights deserve a hug? It's because we're ranking them based off the Emperor, not off the Grey Knights. And same thing for, like, the White Scars. It's, their Primarch and da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, we just finished up on the Ultramarines. We are about to go to Deathwatch pretty quick here. But I will add as a final comment on the Ultramarines, I think the most creative thing that Rabute Gilliman ever did was the Codex Astartes.
He wrote the book that's in the shop?
Yeah.
Is this Warhammer 40k's versions of Fantastic Beasts and where to find them?
No, not. Well, kind of. So this is the book that decided that there weren't allowed to be any more, like, mega factions, and that after 1,000 troops they had to split off into their own sub-faction.
Okay.
So he wrote that book and then wrote how all of the different, like, within each of the... I'm blanking on what they're called. Each of the units.
Mm-hmm.
how they get broken down into like the 10 chapters and then what those 10 chapters do.
Yeah.
He's basically responsible for organizing the army with like a 55% uptake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has some severe limitations, and the Space Marine, or the Ultramarines in particular, abuse it to hell.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's like a bajillion factions of like just Space Marine. Like they have space or Ultramarine gene seed, like, but there's like billions of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
Astra Militarum.
well, technically we're onto the Death Watch, but
yes.
the problem is that the Death Watch are they're a second founding, so they never had a Primarch.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, that being said, if we're just judging the Death Watch on the faction, every single one of those guys needs a hug. You don't end up in the Death Watch because life is going well for you.
I think that's very judgmental. Think of all the death metal musicians. A lot of them are emotionally healthy.
I mean, I will agree with that, but I don't think this is appropriate for the Death Watch. Like
think of that guy from, Fury Road. The one who's just hanging out on top of the monster truck, playing his flamethrower guitar. I'm sorry, he's the happiest person in the wasteland.
He really was, yeah. But I will argue though, like, okay, so do you know how you end up in the Death Watch?
How?
So, in theory, everybody is supposed to do a rotation in the Death Watch.
Uh-huh.
That's not actually how it ends up being. Most of the time, you end up getting sent to the Death Watch as a punishment, either for not fitting in or for doing crimes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this isn't so much death metal enthusiasts so much as it is outcasts and the prison system.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a little different.
Okay. Will they let you hug them?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right, now we can talk Astra Militarum. Now, we don't really have like a faction leader for them, but I mean, we could do this based off of
Titus at the start of second Space Marine 2.
Very depressing place to be. Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. Yeah. I would love to play Space Marine 2 someday. Yeah, I don't know if it'll ever come out on Games Pass or something. I would love to watch that, but yeah. And Titus is such a cool character. I will have to sit you down and show you him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Astra Militarum.
Yeah. So they again, they don't really have a faction leader, but they do have like a notable character.
Who's that?
I'm struggling to remember his name. But he's one of the commissars, and he's got like a whole book series on him, actually.
Uh-huh.
And I am blanking on the name. Oh my goodness. How do I even begin to describe him? So
he has a cool hat.
He has a cool hat. Yes. So I'm gonna let you try and. No, it's not Leonidas. Caiaphas Cain? I think it's Caiaphas Cain. Yeah, that's him. So if we were to do like a leader for Astra Militarum, we could use him, but we could also just rank the faction as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Which would you rather do?
Let's go with Caiaphas Cain.
Okay, so Caiaphas Cain's whole thing is that he got made a commissar.
Uh-huh.
against his will. He is a self-proclaimed coward. Coward. Doesn't want to be anywhere near this. Was attempting to actively flee a battle. And managed to accidentally stumble into a vanguard of like enemy orcs, I think. And then turned around and fled right back over to the army and told them, hey, by the way, the orcs are coming. And this managed to get him a promotion.
I'm suddenly reminded of the movie Ravenous, where basically the same thing happens in the opening scene.
Yeah, it might be based. I don't know, yeah. His entire life just sort of progresses like that. Like, he ends up with this, like, whole, I'm gonna loosely call them a friend group, an entourage, something.
Yeah.
And they are constantly following him into battle. Everybody believes that he's the greatest commissar alive. He doesn't, like, amidst all the commissars, he doesn't shoot you for not staring dead into the enemy and firing. Because he's too busy running away.
Well, he seems to be the most sensible character we've named yet.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like if you put a normal dude in 40K.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go with okay, actually.
I think that's appropriate. I think that's right.
A hug is just going to slow him down.
It really is.
This man has places to be, and they're far away from where the fighting is.
Yeah, and I think he even has, like, an on and off again girlfriend. Like, he's okay.
His life is a comedy of errors. Oh, yeah.
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 I need to track down the books so we can listen to them. I think that you would giggle the whole way through.
Okay.
Okay, so next we have the Craft World Eldar. And I mean, they're not the Drukhari.
The Hobby Lobby Empire.
I hate that. Put those words away. So, I mean, I don't think that they're doing okay. Like, they're definitely on the needs a hug spectrum.
Yeah, they're kind of on the brink of extinction.
Yeah, and they keep having to summon the ghosts of their ancestors to fight for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they're not doing well.
No.
The question...
They won't let you.
Yeah, I think they won't let you. Like, they need one, but they won't accept it. Okay, and then Admech. Now, again, there are faction leaders, but I think that there are too many faction leaders. And to be honest, I think all of Admech is kind of at the same level of emotion. Like, they're all kind of like the honestly, they suffer from the same problem, I think, as the Xenos do, where they don't get enough individual differentiation.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could just rank them as a whole.
Yeah, no, I think we should do that.
So, I mean, they're not, even if you tried, they're not gonna be pleasant to hug.
No?
It is a little bit like trying to hug a nuclear reactor.
Or just trying to hug the insides of an old, Model T.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be pointy.
Yeah.
A little greasy. But I don't think that they don't deserve hugs.
But I don't think they'll let you. They've turned away from the flesh. They've made themselves more machine-like. I don't think they want that. They don't want that reminder. They need one, but they will not let you.
See, and that's the other question, too, is do they need a hug?
They've spent all of their life studying machines, and they're still playing second fiddle to basically clones of clones of clones. Yeah, I think they need a hug.
Okay. See, I think that they're probably okay. I think that they've emotionally sworn off the need for physical fleshy things like hugs and emotions.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, let's put them in okay.
Yeah, I think they're okay. Because they don't, I mean, like, they don't need a hug.
Yeah.
That's not really on their radar.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Blood Angels. Now, if we were doing this based off of the faction and not the Primarch, I would put Blood Angels probably in their own tier beyond needed a hug for a while. Like if we could just have like a care basket and therapy tier, I think we would put the Blood Angels there. But we're not. We're doing this based off of the Primarch, and Sanguinius doesn't need that. I think he probably needs a hug. I just don't know that he necessarily needs therapy.
That's the inverse of the usual.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time it's the Primarchs who need therapy and the factions are doing okay.
Okay. So that... Wow. And... So... As Sanguinius, again... We're back to the Calamarian, area of naming convention. But...
To be fair for this one, they didn't develop the vampiric tendencies until after he died.
Okay.
It doesn't make it much better.
Okay. So, just going by... Well, now I want to call him Sagittarius, but...
I know.
So what would you say about this guy? He's, not a vampire.
Yeah, so he's okay. I think Sanguinius suffers from he suffers from Balder syndrome.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember Balder from Norse mythology? The perfect golden boy who gets...
Oh, yeah, who gets killed by Loki with the arrow made out of mistletoe.
Yeah, him. Like, I think Sanguinius is Balder.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know that he would need a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Compliment.
Yeah.
I think he was doing all right.
Okay.
And then he died just awfully. Just
Gotcha.
the worst way possible. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like if he had survived that, he would need a hug, but he didn't. So I think since we only have the life span that we know of from him, that he was around for.
Yeah.
I don't know that he necessarily... Yeah. What's up?
Oh, no, I'm just, checking chat.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So... I mean, like, he would let you. He would let you give him a hug.
But he's okay, actually.
I think he's okay, yeah. Yeah. Like, the faction is not, but I think Sanguinius is. Oh, no, he goes down there. There we go. No. Is okay, actually. We have a shocking number of is okays.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would turn out that way.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting a lot more in the no hugs ever for this one.
Yeah, I was too.
And now, Necrons.
Necrons, yeah. So they won't. They won't let you.
No.
Yeah. But do they need one?
In many ways, they're the most accomplished faction. They did what they wanted. They wanted to, get revenge on their own gods for creating them, and have turned their own gods into batteries. I mean, it's... In a certain light, it's a real hopeful story. A bunch of can-do go-getters, armed with disintegration rays and moxie,
Oh no, you're right.
have imprisoned divinity.
It's an anime. I hate that, but you're right. I think, okay, for me personally, I think if we were still talking about the Necron tier, they would go directly into needed a hug. Like, 100%, I don't know which part of that, but they needed a hug. Now I think that they're just so far beyond that they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
If they even have enough of a soul and a conscience to recognize what a hug is, they're kind of like the Tyranids. They're not really on that spectrum anymore.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think that they necessarily, like, I don't think they don't deserve a hug.
Yeah, if we're going about with the Lords of Silence, then, yeah, they're still... They need one, but they won't let you.
Oh, no, not... you're wrong book. Wrong book.
Okay.
I think you're... Lords of Silence is the one about the Plague Marines.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. I think you're thinking of, Trazen the Infinite.
Trazen the Infinite, yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, and Trazen... I think Trazen would tolerate a hug with some mild confusion.
Mm.
And I think his rival would use that as an opportunity to prank you. Like, I think they're... I guess we could argue they're okay.
Oh.
Is chat having opinions?
Let's
And it looks like Space Marine 2 is on some of the higher tiers of... Ooh, is it? Oh, thank you so much for checking. I will look into that then. Appreciate that a lot. Cool. So I can... I could probably see whether or not I can get it on my computer. It should run on computer. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So the question is then, are they okay?
Yeah, I think they're okay.
Okay, cool. They can be okay. Okay, so for this last one for the Space Marines, we have a whole bunch of Primarchs that we didn't get to rank because of the way that this particular list is set up. So we got all of the ones that have like a dedicated faction on the tabletop. So like we have the Raven Guard, Ultramarines, we've got the Plague Marines, White Scars, we've got all of them. But there's a whole bunch of general Space Marine factions who you just sort of have to paint yourself, who don't have dedicated, like, we have Primarchs in the lore, but their factions are not specialized like that. So do we want to go ahead and pull up a list and figure out who we've missed and cover them real quick?
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me just see.
Yeah, appreciate that. And then, even though we won't be able to do it here on stream, because I'm not going to go through and pull pictures and upload them to this, I'm not doing that. But this will be available for VOD, and at some point in time, I might actually end up pulling this VOD and editing it, and then that'll go on my main channel on YouTube. So if this is on YouTube, sometime in the far future, then y'all would be able to see the pictures that I've got on screen for this section. But right now, we're not going to go through that.
So we've got Fulgrim.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we've got several. Okay. So 21 Primarchs, 20 Legions, 2 Erased. Okay. And then do we have for we do also have for Loyalist. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, we'll just go down the list. All right, Fulgrim. It is actually surprising to me that no, that's right, because when we did this last time, we didn't have for oh my goodness, they're purple. They've got the Noise Marines. Oh, Emperor's Children.
Marines?
No, Emperor's Children. So Fulgrim is the Primarch of the Emperor's Children. And they fell to Slaanesh hard.
Okay.
Yeah. And Fulgrim was not surprising when that happened. Yeah. So Fulgrim's whole thing is that he needs to be perfect, and he needs everything to be perfect, and he needs everybody to be perfect. And everything must be exactly the way that he wants it.
Gotcha.
And we must look fantastic doing it.
You may all now mentally insert your own Eddie Izzard impression.
Yep. So, yeah, I think that as much as at some point in time, probably a hug could have corrected his everything.
Yeah.
I don't think he deserves one.
Yeah, no.
Especially since he's still, like, as far as I know, he's still around and cooking. Like, I think
Yeah.
he's gonna receive a model pretty soon here, if he hasn't already.
Oof.
Yeah, so, like, if we're talking about, like, the version of him that is now,
Mm-hmm.
he does not deserve a hug.
Gotcha.
He deserves to be in a box, and then to have that box shipped elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm not saying he can't have benefited from one.
All right.
Mortarion, we
We already
already covered.
Like,
Angron. Oh, yeah, Angron. So, actually, I'm surprised that do we not have World Eaters on this list? That's surprising. Because World Eaters has their own box faction. I guess they just got left off this tier list. Okay, so back when we were talking about the Blood Angels needing a special tier for needs therapy, I think Angron would be next to the Blood Angels faction in the needs therapy.
mm-hmm.
He's never done well. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He was not found as a child, and that was half the problem. So he wandered around in the wilderness for a little bit.
Gotcha.
And then when he was found, he was immediately thrown into the gladiatorial pits.
Gotcha.
With the historically accurate situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then when they decided that he wasn't angry enough, they drove nails into his skull.
Okie dokie. That. Well. Okay.
So I think if there was a category higher than needed a hug for a while, he would be in that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And
let's see here. We've got Holgram, Magnus,
Angron,
Lorgar. Oh my goodness. I'm blanking on Lorgar. Let me go Google it real quick, because I'm trying to remember. Oh. What was his faction? Oh, the Word Bearers. Oh, right, them. Religious zealots, the whole lot of them.
gotcha.
Lorgar, if I'm remembering my lore correctly, Lorgar is the guy who basically founded the Imperial cult.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Right. The guy who broke the rules explicitly stating, don't make me into a god. Like, the one good thing the Emperor did. And he broke that rule.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was that guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, I don't think that he needs a hug, because I think if he had ever gotten a hug, he would see that as validation for his beliefs.
Uh-huh.
Which would only make the situation worse.
Yeah.
So I think he goes in the no hugs ever bucket.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So, that's Lorgar, there's
Perturabo, oh my goodness, yeah, Perturabo isn't, okay, he's an asshole.
Okay.
But he comes by it honestly.
His father was an asshole before him? I mean, sure. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, that's it. You have summed it up right there. Yeah. His whole thing is that he can look at something and instantaneously understand how it was made, why it exists, and how it will eventually fail.
Gotcha.
So he does not have the joy of discovery or
Oh.
learning because he just understands. Like, he's got a kind of like, I just had the word.
Innate knowledge?
Yeah. Oh, there's a name for it, and I'm just forgetting. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so he doesn't really have joy.
Gotcha.
Because it's also, like, it doesn't really go into people. Like, he doesn't understand people. Like, at all. Like, at all. But he can kind of, if I understand correctly, he can kind of look at how you behave and see why you'll fail and how
Gotcha.
you'll fail.
Okay.
So he's got disappointment and judgment issues.
Okay.
And he does not get to experience the joy of discovery.
Gotcha.
And then on top of all of that, because he's such a good siege master, at least in the Horus Heresy, he's constantly put into these really awful, awful, awful situations. And then he just does them with stoicism, and the entire time, like, he's complaining so hard, like he doesn't want to be here and he feels so taken advantage of. But he won't speak up for himself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you're having a bad day, but you did this, and you could say something, but he won't.
Okay.
So where does he go on the hug spectrum?
Should have been hugged more as a child. That is the one thing that, he could never see the flaw in. Love. Love.
I think he saw the flaw in love, and I maintain you are correct. I think he probably needed a hug at several points, actually, but definitely, yeah. Okay, Ararbo, and then, the twins, Alfarius and Omegon. So, I'm gonna say something cursed. Please forgive me, chat. You know the twins from Oron Host Club? Okay, but instead of the behavior you're thinking of, turn all of that trickster mentality to being the best spies and duplicity.
Okay.
To the point where we're not even sure if there was one of them or two of them.
Gotcha.
Like, we're pretty sure there were two, but, like, even their own brothers weren't sure that there were two or not.
Okay.
We're also not sure if they're chaos or if they're loyal. We're not even sure if they're alive or dead. And for all we know, one of them is dead and the other one is alive.
This seems unnecessarily contrived.
Correct. That's their whole thing.
Yeah. And no, the Alpha Legion is just confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I have to say that of all of Chaos, I don't think they need a hug, and I think that it's okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, what do you think?
Well, in the premises we've set up, they don't need a hug, they might need a smack.
Correct. Yeah, except that they had the Emperor to encourage them. Yeah. So, yeah, I think if we had to put them somewhere on this bar, I think I'd put them in is okay actually, but in reality, yeah, I think they need some minor correction.
Conrad Kurz.
Conrad Kurz. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so all of the take all of the emo Batman that we had from Crow Crowerson.
Yeah.
And now make it actually emo and grimdark. And take all of the good out of it. Like absolute Batman. Or not, is it absolute Batman?
No. Think more like the Ultimates from Marvel.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, there's the awful one that Hugbees. You remember that one?
Which awful one?
The one where he talks about he talks about the version of Batman where they just ruined the concept of Batman. Like, he enjoys being Batman.
I don't remember that one off the top of my head.
Oh, we'll watch it later tonight. It's funny. I mean, it's funny in a way that like makes you want to cringe back into your shell, but it is funny.
I'm thinking of the Ultimates because their idea of making it more gritty and realistic was making Captain America racist.
Correct. You've got the right idea.
Okay, yeah, that was a terrible idea.
Yeah. I don't know that he's necessarily racist so much as he is patiently waiting for everybody to hurry up and die.
Ew.
Yeah,
well,
he's not. Nobody was surprised when he turned to chaos.
Gotcha.
Yeah. His own faction don't like him. And they're all serial killers.
Gotcha. And these are the Night Lords?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a really good book, though.
Yeah.
Like, I've read their book. It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know how they managed to humanize that faction, but they did, and it's enjoyable. But
okay.
Yeah, but Corvus, or not Corvus, what's his name?
Yep. Conrad?
Conrad Kurz. Yeah. Conrad Kurz does not deserve hugs, and even if you tried to give him a hug, he would rather you were dead.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Rogel Dorn.
Rogel Dorn. Or are we done with oh yeah, because we already talked about Horus, we got yeah, okay, so we've just got Rogel Dorn left. Okay.
Yeah, just Rogel Dorn.
I mean, Rogel Dorn is kind of like Gilliman in the fact that he looks very stable on the surface. He's like Perturabo, but good. He does not have the problems with like he can still experience the joy of discovery and the satisfaction of a job well done. And he doesn't like I'm sure that he holds things over people's heads, but he doesn't then turn around and like, you know, do a decimation on you for funsies. Gotcha. Actually, no, that's not true. I think he did do a decimation one time on his Legion. But he didn't do it for funsies.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, this is Warhammer we're talking about. These are not good people.
No, yeah.
But okay. That one, I think, if I remember correctly, he did do a decimation on his Legion, but the whole thing was that his Legion were so loyal to him that they couldn't imagine a universe in which they would all split up into their own factions and be leaderless without him.
Gotcha.
And so to try and break their spirit, he did a decimation. So that they would conform. And they still never did, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's fostering some real codependency right there. That's not healthy.
No. The thing is, I don't know that a hug would have ever done anything to fix these problems.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that he's actually fine. Emotionally, I don't think he is. It's like what you were saying earlier about stoicism. He's in that same department.
Gotcha.
But I also don't think that he would ever let his facade break long enough
Mm-hmm.
for you to give him a hug.
Gotcha. Okay. Hmm.
What you thinking?
Oh. Just thinking, yeah, where should we put him? The Yeah, no, let's put him with the Iron Hounds.
Oh, where did we put the Iron Hands?
Needed a hug for a while.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I think that he wouldn't let you.
Gotcha.
But I do think that he has needed one the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that is as good as we're going to be able to finish up this tier list. So,
And just reading this from Snake Boy.
Mhm.
For most Primarchs, no amount of hugs could have fixed their problems.
this is true. This is absolutely true. I think the only thing that could have ever fixed their problems is being born in a different universe.
But you know whose problems can be fixed by hugs?
Oh no.
Tyranids.
No.
Hug the whole wide hive mind at once.
Comprehend it. You think you're serving yourself up on a silver platter? Don't get me wrong. If there was a real Tyranid, A, I would be horrified. B, we were all gonna die. C, I would try and hug it. But I don't think that's gonna save us.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Alright, well, I think for the YouTube video, I think that this wraps it up pretty nicely.
Yeah.
When that thing ever gets made. But, I mean, like, now we kind of have to make a decision. Do we want to keep streaming, or do we want to, like, and if we do keep streaming, what do we want to do?
Yeah. I don't know. We've been streaming for 97 minutes.
Oh, so not terribly long, about an hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you sent me a, like a which faction are you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could play that. We could do another tier list, just sort of look on the website and find one.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Are you tired, or
a little tired?
You're a little tired? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you wanting to go ahead and take a break and maybe we do another one some other time, or do you want to keep going?
I figure we'll try do this again tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so if we have time tomorrow, then we will probably stream tomorrow, and if we don't have time, then I will be back on Monday with Pokemon White. That is the plan, at least, unless something happens. So, that being the case, let's find out how many people do we have in chat. Was it more than like 2 or 3? Can you even tell?
Well, it's been Snake Boy for a while.
Mm-hmm. And then, oh, that's, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, to Snake Boy and any of our lurkers, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys off. I don't think that I'm gonna try and raid tonight. I haven't even figured out where those buttons are, to be honest with you, but thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, and hopefully, you know, it would be really cool if we see you next time. If not, you know, you guys take care. All right, let's go ahead and streaming end. Chainsaw, yeah. Alrighty, cool. All right, y'all have a great night. I'll maybe see y'all later.
All right. Bye.